All right, Hungaroring today. Finally got a little bit of success in Sector 2. I think I could do better than 23rd place, but honestly, if I can just post anything in the mid 146s, I'll probably be happy in qualifying. Because obviously we can go lower fuel, more aggressive brake settings. Pretty large field today, actually. 38 cars, not too bad at all. We do have one problem, which is Stephen Wenham is in the wrong car. So, there is unfortunately that. So, let me just save my setup here, because I made some last minute changes. 27, 27, 8, 27. Pretty decent. Let's drop this just a bit and go with that. Okay. Fuel and strategy dropping down, and then let's call it 3 liters for a lap, so 15 laps for qualifying. And tire set 4 is fine because it is unworn. Excellent. And while I'm waiting for the server to roll over, let's get the lap count. 35 laps, 2.99 a lap. We'll call it 3. 104.3 liters, so let's go 105. So that'd be 60, and then 55 at the pit stop. Would probably be best, because I don't think I'm going to do any kind of long run today, but we'll see. This is, of course, the GT Challenge from Hungaroring, ESR Series race. Racing
there we go. Do I have you, Travis?
Racing for DACA ASP. Teammate in this race is John Picha. Wayne Hutchison is normally our third driver, but unfortunately his SSD has decided to immolate itself, and as a result, he is not here. So we're down to 2 cars, which means we're defending on even pace with the Lexus Emil Frey crew, the Kessel Racing Ferraris, and the 2C McLarens. That would be Vic Nash and Connor Levy in the McLarens, Daniel Madringa and Simeon Naku in the Ferraris, and Javier Perez Torres. And Big Shot, Mika Watt up in 5th place in the Lexuses are our predominant team rivals. Interesting to see Maxi Lentini down in 9th place. A lot of people thought he was going to be the man. But there's a lot of people kind of out of position today. Like I was saying earlier, like I'm in 23rd place, which seems kind of bad, but I'm like really close to like James Butler, Andy Long, Wesley Stokes, not terribly far up the road. Like it's a bit weird, but there are some guys who are like oddly faster than they normally are, like Javier Perez Torres did an excellent job. Good work by Connor Levy. Raymond Rue up in 16th place. So this is interesting. I will chill in the pits here for a moment. Mike Stockmill, Marie Wanchuk, Matt Higgs, one of the Haas's, a Jeff heading out. There's the other Haas. Arona, Wallace, Simeon Knight, Verstappen. See, Verstappen's doing it again. He's going out behind a like low-end silver driver. It's a little silly. Guillermo Taylor. We'll let Taylor go through the first corner. Oh, Vic Nash. So probably not going to be able to wait as much as I'd like, but here we go.
Go patch me happy.
Thank you.
Andres Licutis coming out of the pits. So I picked a decent spot here. I've just got Andreas to kind of deal with, and no one really behind me. Mauricio Delgado is the car behind me. We'll see. Kind of looks like Licutis is letting me past. Either that or he's just really warming his tires. I'm not sure which. The pain area will be the second sector, which begins with the turn I just went through, and then continues more or less to the final 2 turns. It's where I'm losing a lot of time. Keir O'Neill letting everyone know he'll let them pass, which is good. He is a bronze driver. Had some problems under blue flags at Nürburgring. Picked himself up a couple of penalties, so it will be good. Oh, what are you doing, Andres? Like, either get out of my way or...
What are you doing, Christoph?
Don't get out of my way. I don't really get that.
Is that in the chat?
Might have just been warming his tires or something. I don't know. Either way, clear of him now. So these last 2 turns are a little bit annoying, although not losing a lot of time here compared to rivals, at least. Even if I don't feel very comfortable with myself. Remembered to fill the Camelback this time, so I do have water for the race. A little deep, but not too bad. Oh, somebody off the track ahead. That is Francisco Toledo in his Bentley. Does he have some more colors in it today? Because that looks a little more colorful than his usual sort of rip-off Mercedes livery. Not really sure what's the deal with the positions it shows early on. We got Locutus in first place. Doesn't really make it. I don't know. Maybe he joined first. Maybe. I don't know. I know that Toledo and Locutus were in quite early, so that could be all there is to that. So yeah, the goal is to break at least into the 126s in qualifying. Any slower than that is going to be a disappointment. This lap shouldn't be terribly great. It's kind of been a banker. I'm not really solidly pushed into any turn. Thank you, Vic. Vic Nash courteously getting out of my way. And that's a rival team. So that's always good sportsmanship. Yeah, so his first lap, 47.8, obviously not very good, but didn't really push anywhere and didn't really have the cleanest lap in the world, if we're being honest. Track is optimum. Doesn't really feel it though. Feels a little bit greasy. That was taking a little bit more curb than is advisable. Fast, but not safe. Need to take about a second off that first lap time if I'm going to get anything kind of even remotely respectable. Really shouldn't shift up to 4th gear there. Just ends up with me downshifting and losing pace. Track temperature might have gone up because I am getting notably higher tire pressures. Better, but not good. Top 20 at the moment, but if we're being honest, it's probably because there's some people that have not done a lap yet, would be my guess. Because the lap time is definitely not top 20s. Couple places I know I messed up though, so shouldn't be too hard to find some extra lap time. Through the latter part of the second sector. Oh, a white flag up ahead and yellow flag in sector 3. Be Juan Ramos in his Lexus, I think, is the white flag. Oh, and that's going to invalidate the lap. Damn it. I keep thinking, well, I keep seeing people being able to carry a lot more speed through there, and that's a spot where I think I'm losing a fair bit of time. So every so often I get the urge. Now the tires are a little bit less than optimum. They're a little overheated, so, or overinflated, I should say. Well, the left front is also overheated, so probably some adjustments to be made there. That might produce some time advantage, but let's be honest, I need to get into the 146s with this setup. Oh, and that's a terrible one. Yeah, okay, we're just going to abandon that. Okay, into the pits I go. Okay, so we're going to look at the tires a little bit. Let's try taking that down 2. That down 1. Backs look good. We'll leave it at that. Okay, let's keep going. I am sharing my pit stall with my teammate, Mr. John Picha. Hopefully we pit at different times. If you've followed an onboard race where I'm sharing a pit stall, you know that it's like, oh, that one's, looks like Finish is pulling up lane there. Okay, I was gonna let him through, but if he is not continuing, then there is no real point. Let's see what Toledo does. If I were him, I would probably just let me pass. Where is he? He's 30. He's 35th. I'm 25th. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess it also depends on what the gap is. But it generally does feel like you're just going to slow yourself down by holding somebody up. So if you're on a warm-up lap and you think they might be faster than you, it's generally speaking a good idea to just let them through if it's not too much hassle. So that's good on his part. Christoph Verstappen having a problem with somebody on the track. If he wishes to report, we will maybe find out who that someone is. Otherwise, not really going to look at it all that much. So, definitely need to get a better lap time in here. I think maybe Justin Swan and Verstappen had the problem. Looks like Swan's protesting a minor game glitch, perhaps. Judging by the beginning of that is maybe a case of not getting a blue flag when he should have had it. First off, Christopher Martin coming out of the pits. This is Christopher Martin's first race as a member of Triple F Racing, I do believe. He has been on the team for a little while anyways. Replaced Murray E1 Chuck on that team with Sean Kenny and Matt Higgs, but just had not actually gotten to participate in a race. Kind of joined them at the wrong time and missed the Nürburgring race that he was supposed to. I think that was the only one. I think he did participate in Zandvoort in a Porsche. So, incoming Simeon Naku. according to my Steam. Okay, so the big time gain is through here from the time I have up. So I completely screwed that turn up on the lap that is actually up there right now. I do have a white flag, yellow flag coming up. Looks like it's moving again. I do like the fact that the car is generating yellows actually turn yellow on the track mark.
Be careful.
It's helpful. Let's get this right last turn right. And, well, into the 46s. Though, to be honest, I'd still like to be about 3 to 4 tenths faster on a reasonable level. As Ruben Simeonite and Juan Ramos do a good job of staying out of my way. Tip the hat to them. Ruben is actually one of the only is going to be part of one half of the only AM entry for the Paul Ricard race, or at least the only one I think. There's an entry that hasn't been classified yet, but I don't think they're going to be AM. I hope not. If they're going to be AM, I'm going to have to talk to them about their car choice, because they're trying to drive the Ryder Engineering Rex car, which, if you are an AM entry, do not drive that car. Of course, ironically, would be a car that AMs would drive in real life, because of its... If you have the money to run a pro entry, you just buy a Lambo, but... Okay, well, if we can keep this up. Yellow flag. One of the Haas's is having a problem with something. Not sure what exactly. There we go. That's more like it. 46.4. Only put me up 2 spots higher, but like, I knew the lap was in there, so it was just, it would have been exceedingly frustrating to not get it. Hopefully Andres Lacutis, who was pretty quick in practice actually, down 30th right now, so he's... Oh, okay, he did stop. Good, good, good. Good on... I mean, bad on Andreas for spinning, but good on him for showing proper decorum and getting the car stopped. Consistency on this track, to be honest. Like, I was up 4 tenths there. Now it's less than 3. I was gonna say I was gonna lose time there. That was looking like a half decent lap too. A little frustrating. Pick up a little bit through the last couple of turns. Well, new best lap, but not by much. Oh, don't have enough fuel for the lap. Alright, pull it over to the side here. Alright, well, let's have a last look at the setup. I don't really want to make any big changes right now. The only thing I'm doing... Okay, so the tire pressures look great. Pressures are a little off. Perfect. The backs are ideal. The fronts are a little off. The left front is a little bit too hot on the inside here, the inside, and actually it's both cases the inside's a little too hot, but not unbearably so. Let's have a quick look at the timetable here. So I think, rush to get back on the track. I got one. So yeah, so there's about 3/10 that can be found. Where am I in relation? So I could maybe get Guido de Palma, and like at the outside maybe Raymond Roux, and wow, the outside would be Butler. We'll see. Okay, let's see here. As I am inside the car of teammate Johnny Picha, as we were like, why is he so much higher than I am? I guess he's probably just on the jacks. So got a good little open spot here to do my final run. Or I guess I could get another run in, but I don't know. I feel like this is going to be the last run. Come out behind Murray Iwanchuk, so that's someone I don't have to worry about. He should be well clear. Now that after his sojourn into the Nissan for the Nürburgring, that he's back in the Lambo. After getting removed from Triple F, he starts showing up again and then goes back into their car. Ironic. He is in the 78 Barwell car, which is kind of boring for a Lambo. One of the less colorful ones, just kind of black. He did admittedly want the 77 Eraser one, but 77 is a taken number in our series, so he would have had to do a custom entry. Not really sure why he didn't. I did try to convince him he should, but unless he didn't. Also reminds me I do need to take a screenshot of the new Barwell car for the Race Up guys, who are giving me more and more privileges to update ACC liveries, and I'm not 100% certain how I feel about that. But one problem at a time, and right now the problem is getting into the 1 minute 45s, basically. Would be the only way to get me into that sweet top 20 that I really would like to be in. Like, there are some guys ahead of me that are kind of inconsistent, and maybe I can pick them off as a result. But on raw pace, I don't know if I can get much higher in the standings here. Here's hoping. This is like the closest thing in the game to a home track for me, of course. Yugoslavian heritage. Not too far from Hungary. The only Eastern European track in the game. And of course there are no Canadian ones, so there's nothing for my adopted home, although presumably at some point we'll get the SRO America stuff, and then that will be fixed, because this game should have Bowmanville, aka Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, aka Mosport. Tumbles out a little bit wide. That's gonna be a spot right there I can gain time, because we did have a really bad entry into that turn on the fastest lap I did, so hopefully I can replicate the rest of the lap and just fix that, which I came pretty close to right there. It was solid. I don't know about that losing time in Sector 1 message, because to be honest, Sector 1 is... It's Sector 2 that I'm terrible in. Unless it was saying I lost time to myself in Sector 1. maybe? I don't know. Excellent. That's a new personal best through Sector 1. So, that's a good response to the crew chief. Don't think I have to worry about that. Should be cleared up long before I get there. Got it right that time. But lost some ground earlier in the sector. Still looking good though. No improvement of position, but improvement on time. Actually, I did get one. I got one spot, it looks like. To 24th. Somebody off the track. Juan Ramos kind of botching this lap for me. It's not the end of the world. I'm only 1/10 down. Or 2/10 basically, but I did kind of slow up there, not knowing what the car was going to do. There, we picked up the time there though.
Nice job, Murray.
Thank you.
There we go. Lost a little bit there at the end. Got to 22nd place though. Problem is I do not have enough fuel for another run. And I don't think there would be a point in going for another. So, let's see, who'd I jump? Oh, I did get Rue and I got Butler. Nice. And De Palma. Dead even time with Simeon Naku, at least to the 1,000th of a second, but he must have posted it first, and Madringa is ahead of me as well. He is getting much better, like alarmingly better. Alright, so let's bump her up to 60 liters, 55 on the pit stop. Tire set 7. We'll go with tire set 10 on the pit stop. Use current pressures, please. Might adjust them as we need. And then setup number 2 is a wet weather setup with fuel as well. There we go. And then setup 3, just because I'm not super worried about the pad wear, but let's say that I want it if I find myself having brake problems. Actually, I wouldn't be doing that at the pit stop, so let's just say there, set up there to do a brakes change. if we must. Okay, checking on Discord, see if anyone has any problems here at the last second. Javier is having a problem. Is he in the server now? There he is. Okay, he's here. That's good. Hopefully he stays. 41 cars, not bad. Juan Ramos, Tom Waz at the back, along with Keir O'Neill, Chris Martin. It's bizarre to me that Keir O'Neill has a pro backboard, despite the fact that he's it definitely feels more like a bronze driver, if I'm being honest. And there's no shame in that. It's just kind of highlights the, to me, I think somewhat the problem of the ranking system in this game is that there's a certain grind factor to it to a degree that can artificially make people look lower and artificially make people look higher, I think is what I'm getting at. I mean, like Mika Watt is not silver, or Sean Caney is not silver, for example. Like they're at least gold drivers. Heck, I'm a gold driver, like legitimately in the game now. It's weird, it's scary. Picked up gold while we were doing the practice race for this event. Now I'm getting slotted back down the order a little bit as a couple of people come in with some late quick laps. It is Maxi Lentini looking like the pole position right now from Arjona and Mike Stobmill, A. Jeff, Mika Watt, Christopher Streppin, Ewanchuk, Higgs, Stokes, and Simmons looking like the top 10. There's the AM group. Madringa way ahead, and the silver group with Mika Watt at the top of the table. Oop, Delgado coming in the pits. Not a terribly hard pit entry here, so it doesn't require a ton of practice. We'll see how it goes, though. I'm hoping the answer is good, but because I could use a solid result here. Haven't had one in a little while. What we're doing here, I'll pull up the standings real quick. Since we have a little bit of a lapse between the race and this. GT Challenge Season 3, coming off a 20th place finish at Nürburgring. I am currently hanging on to 19th in the standings with 62 points. I will probably overtake Enzo Benevenuti today, who is not in attendance, and maybe Joe Nolasco, who is also not in attendance. I think Joe is actually out of the series. Enzo, I just think, is away right now. Hopefully I can haul that in, but I will probably also have some company coming from behind me in the form of Finn Esch, who has returned, and also Andrew Anderson, and even James Butler, who has been capable of some really impressive results so far this season. And in the teams battle, we currently hold 6th place on 109 points. We are not catching the top 10 because we were over 100 points behind Triple F, who's next up. 2 C's on 73, 44 for Emil Frey, and 34 for Kessel. So those are the rivals, and I talked about them earlier. Let's see, car number 111 is forcing a, along with Guido De Palma, we're forcing a, oh, that's Simi Naku. Alright. Alright, get hyped. Pretty happy with the qualifying. 2.3 seconds up pole. Not bad. Pretty solid. Fastest lap I've done here, so I'm bringing it. It's a warm track, 37 degrees. We'll see if that transitions into the race or not. And we got 1 hour of the Hungaroring with a mandatory pit stop. Last round before the 2 hours of Paul Ricard one-off event, which is going to be stressful, but hopefully awesome as well. And yeah, that's the deal today. Had some problems with the server earlier on. Hopefully they do not repeat. Javier was saying something about disconnecting. So, cross your fingers, cross your toes. Cross whatever you can. That, knock on wood, we all good. And 37 degrees has held for it, so no tire adjustments in theory needed.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck. Keep it clean. Remember to report incidents. No need to discuss them in voice chat or in text chat. Starting directly behind Javi P and Simeon Naku.
Yeah, and you can in turn 2 you might start to get a bottleneck too, so just be aware.
And Butler is behind me. That's right, I did overhaul Butler. And Guido De
Be
Palma
careful
is
on
making
turn
his
1.
debut.
Are you saying that to yourself?
Yes.
Your mantra?
Vic.
In the practice race, Higgs and Butler destroyed like half the field at the first corner. So, cross your fingers, cross your toes. That if that happens, I don't get caught up in it. It happens. It happens. But hopefully we can get through lap 1 incident free. Means less work for me when there's just nothing really happening on lap 1. So, yeah, there is that. Almost ready to drive. Countdown is coming down. And ready to go. Car on. Starter on. Let's get ready to roll. Fairness, I think I might want to adjust my pit stop actually to... Oh, I only really needed 45. Never mind. That'll probably actually go down. I was thinking for a second that I really hadn't thought through the whole... We're all going to try the fuel-saving map. Both times I've done this, I've screwed up and forgot to go back to the actual map for the race. So if you guys... And those didn't end up on screen. But if it happens again, you guys get to laugh at my expense. As the field starts to head off here. Can't put it in gear until I think the marker is that Simeon and Javi start moving. Although apparently Simeon hadn't started moving, so I'm wrong on at least half that.
Tire pressures are super low.
Well, that's because your tires are cold. Simeon through because he is of course ahead of me on the grid. As per usual, keep the pace down, do a little wiggling. I don't know why everyone just suddenly stops. I guess it could be that they're starting to touch orange, but I personally, well, I mean, it also warms the tires to put a lot of heat through the brakes, so you know, it makes sense. As per usual for a pit plan, kind of going to evaluate around the 30 minute mark. I don't like to pit before the halfway point of the race unless I'm damaged. And the reason is twofold. Number one, it means that you're possibly vulnerable at the end of the race to being taken because your tires are really warm, because obviously if you run more than half the race on your second set of tires, they'll be a little bit more worn than someone who went late. I also, however, don't believe in the super late idea that some people have. Because, not so much because I think the going late idea is even bad. I'm kind of throwing shade at Max Simmons here a little bit because he does have that tendency.
Good job, Sean.
It's that I don't...
That what?
Paul.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I left about 400s out there.
Okay. I'm on this side of the track. Need to get faster while staying to the right. And let's get the engine map set
I'll be
correctly.
giving you plenty of room there, Sean.
No worries, man. I got low tire pressure, so I don't really understand that.
A little bit over. Waiting for the speed limit to pop up. A little bit of brake. Just to keep us away from Javi's butt. Just got slowed down in time. That was close. Didn't expect the green flag to drop at that time. Slow down a little bit early. Oh, Guillermo Taylor gave me a nudge, but no real harm. Couple of cars are off. Anderson saw Kenny off as well. Javi P looked like he was in some trouble as well.
I don't know what happened there.
Somebody else is off. So, a messy early bit. Not sure where I am. Because it's not 28th place. Either that or Justin Swan's not in 8th. We'll put it that way. Oh, Mondringa and Swan go a little wide. So do I, actually. Guido De Palma on my tail. Not going to go down the inside of Swan here. Just tuck it behind him. And it looks like up to 20th is the final verdict. Hopefully not too damaged from the nudge from Taylor, although I do kind of feel like my back end is a little bit funny, a little bit broken. Hopefully that's just my imagination and not a long repair job / a long amount of lost time. And there will be some fast cars coming up behind me. It'll be kind of situational how hard I fight them. But the car I'm looking at ahead of me is Daniel Madringa, rival in the team's championship, and somebody that I was around in qualifying, so I'd like to be able to keep with him along with Raymond Rue and Connor Levy, who are the 2 cars ahead of him. Not too much damage. Apparently only about 3 seconds worth, so... Well, 4 seconds. 33.9 second pit stop. Be about 4 seconds worth of damage, so... Not too bad. We'll see how the lap times are. And that'll more inform me. Because it does feel like the back end isn't handling quite right. But that could just be my imagination. And that is, of course, from the lap 1 contact with Guillermo Taylor, which is a no harm, no foul situation, really. Because he didn't spin me around. Yes, he did a little bit of damage. Yes, that's going to cause me a little bit of a longer pit stop and probably cost me a little bit of time around the track, and it sucks. But other people have had it happen. I've told them to kind of, you know, get over it. I would say, depends on how far back he was, but I don't recall him being like the car directly behind me even. So I still don't know if I like the braking job he did. That does feel like really dive bombish, but he's also a bit of a ping hazard, so there is that as well. Somehow ended up in 19th place, so we've potentially lost somebody from the race. Taking a cautious braking point here. Levy's been shuffled back behind Madringa. And Swan. I have never not yet raced with Connor Levy, so the book is completely blank where he is concerned. What I think about him. Qualified well, though. So, have to give him good marks for hot lapping ability. And he didn't just clap me off the road there. So far the book on Connor is good. Next goal is Madringa. I'm not really considering myself to be racing Justin Swan, because he's usually quite a ways up the way from me, so that's not really someone I'm worried about. Like I said, it's Madringa and Rue, the Aston Martin ahead of him, that I am interested in. Timing is again glitching out on my position, so I'm not sure where I am. Should be in 18th place. Looks like De Palma and Levy has vanished, so it looks like Levy might have gotten shoved. So Justin has gotten out of my way. We'll put it that way. And let this fight that I saw as the actual fight between me and Daniel coalesce into something maybe. The book on Daniel has been that he's been showing a lot of good hot lapping speed, but he's a little bit mistake prone in the race. So that means that I have to look to induce a mistake, but also be careful, because some of that is just purely, some of those mistakes are just purely awareness based. As he gets back past Justin Swan, who made a mistake there, ran very wide. Oh, very wide run from Madringa. Can I get through? Nope. He's got enough drive to get the job done. Might have actually even had better drive from where he went wide from. So 47.4. I'd like to be able to get into the 46s during the race, but probably won't happen until the fuel load runs down a little bit. Behind me, I still have Guido De Palma to worry about, and Andy Long is coming through by the looks of it. And he'll be a very quick Aston Martin. A little late on the brakes there. Swan getting wide again. This gives me a little bit of hope, to be honest, that I can maybe do something about Mr. Swan. Oh, it's a little chip with Madringa, but I don't know really what I could have done to avoid it. So he got really wonky there. Came off the got shot off the curbs, I think. So I will probably not review that on my own, but if Daniel wants to report it, it could certainly be reviewed. And Juan Ramos got the black flag. That is not good. I wonder if he picked up a drive-through and didn't serve it or something. Maybe. Nope. De Palma has gotten past Madringa, so every time I overtake a car, Guido De Palma is just coming through right after me. Guido's very fast in race room. I don't know how he is in ACC, and he has chosen a car that at best can be described as a challenge in that Honda NSX. Presumably the Evo, newer version, 2019 model, not the 18 model, I would hope, as the 18 model is straight up trash. Lost a lot of time there. Swan's pulling away from me. Question is Rue? I'll have to check what our lap times look like at the end of this lap. As he does have a 4-second lead over me, but how much that was fighting with Levy and with Madringa when he did not have to. He got a very good start. Tends to be a late pit stopper, so. Alright, so what did he do? He did a 47 flat. 47.1, same ballpark pace. Had I not screwed up in the chicane, I probably would have actually been faster than him. And hopefully Justin Swan can make him think about some things. And I can maybe take advantage. Tires are a little bit overpressurized, so that might be a correction to make in the pit lane. Looks like plus 0.2 overall. Just all around is maybe what we need to look at. Should be able to get into the 46s before the pit stop, though. I think at the rate I'm going. Was faster than both Swan and Rue last time around, which really just means I was faster than Rue, because Swan is more or less just limited by the Aston Martin in front of him, it seems right now. Faster, but he can't find a way around him quite yet. And then further up the way, it's Xavier Eugeni, who I really enjoyed my fight with at Nürburgring, but is, as a general note, not somebody I'm racing with. So, other than catching Rue, it's just worrying about what's coming from behind right now. And right now, that's Guido de Palma. And to a lesser extent, the Kessel Racing boys, Madringa and Naku. Looks like we've lost 2 cars, one of which was Juan Ramos, who got DQ'd. Alright. Worry is not so much Raymond Rue anymore as Guido de Palma coming from behind. Man, not a championship rival by any means. He's missed, every race. This is his debut. But, we have a little bit of a rivalry from the ESR multi-class series in the GT4s, so, I'm still keen to beat him. But we'll see. I'm going to go 2 out of my way to fight him for position. Lost about 0.6 of a second, though, to Madringa, which would be more important. As the Kessel Racing guys are a rival of ours. The kind of four-way fight for 6th place in the team standings. And without the guy I still think of as our team leader, Wayne Hutchison, here today, and maybe not for a bit, because of course SSD replacement in COVID times, although he's working, so one would think he can afford a replacement. It's not like if my SSD were to die, because then we'd have a problem. It's that turn there that Guido's really launching into me. Hopefully not literally. Stephen Wenham apologizing for the livery mix-up. So I think maybe he's the second retirement, because if you're talking to me on Discord and racing at the same time, that is just damn impressive. Like, and I mean by like text talking, not voice talking. Hopefully he didn't exit, though. Because as much as I never am happy about people infringing on the livery thing, because he took a livery that somebody else was running and a car number, and that means they had to change car numbers, which is never a good thing, as I hop over the curb there, which is not a good thing either. Speaking of things that are not good, on the bright side, well, that time looks good. Watch as Guido gets nice and big behind me. Well, not even that big that time. That is definitely the turn he probably thinks he can make a move, and he's probably not wrong. The only thing is that with that being a Honda, I just kind of should be able to outgrunt him to the next braking zone. So I'm not really sure how it would work. By the way, Raymond Rue has been overtaken by Justin Swan, and that means the Aston is the car ahead of us. Or ahead of me, I should say. And Tom was coming up down a lap. Kudos to Tom. He's racing with a cast on his arm, so not one of the faster drivers to begin with, and racing with a fairly significant injury. So no hate on him falling down a lap early. I'm sure he's in more than a little bit of pain every time the force feedback does a little thing. Oh, careful with your rejoin, Tom. Thank you. Good job, good job. A little bit of an awkward spot because you want to carry the momentum out to where he was, but I think he did a good job of keeping it, giving as much space as he could without going into the dusty, dirty off-track areas too heavily, because you can't expect him to do anything more than that, I don't think. Again, this is the spot, and we are being caught by the red Kessel Ferraris. Team Kessel Run, and also Sean Kenny in the mix in his Lamborghini. Be interesting to see what he can do. He has... Oh, Madringa's dropped back somewhere. That's a shame. Alright, so the pit window is open. Not thinking about a pit stop yet. My lap times don't appear to be overly suffering. I mean, right there, that was not a good lap, but I think that was just more mistake prone. Like, it doesn't feel like the tires are gone or anything. Really? Did not expect I'd get that warning. But it is good to know. That is a spot you can definitely gain time. I've just seen other cars go much further out there, I guess is what I'm getting at. So there is that. Christopher Martin in the Triple F Lambo. Next to be lapped. And now I have Simeon Naku on my tail. Simeon hunted me down in the practice race, but it was because I was damaged. So hopefully history does not repeat itself. Justin Swan's still in view, but not kidding myself into thinking that I am racing him realistically for position. De Palma, Kenny. There's a drive-through for Madringa, I think. And a stop-go for Albert Arjona. Interesting. So that's another variable into things here. Looks like he did his pit stop early, which I know is his tradition, and may have sped in the pit lane in the process. That may put him more in the midfield today. He qualified in the front row, I think, if I recall correctly. I think it was Lentini, him, and Stopmill, the top three. He has kind of been that third wheel in the championship fight, along with Christoph Verstappen, depending on tracks. Let's say Christoph feels more threatening than Arjona does in that regard. But Arjona is very consistent. So, a bit weird to see him take a presumably speeding in the pit lane penalty. Oh, that was a little physical. Simeon? That's going to cost him and me safety rating, of course. Raymond Roux gets very wide. Weird. Roux's going hard inside. Defensive line. Slash attacking Naku. And we get Roux. Kenny gets Roux. Let's see what I can do about Simeon. Fuel load is not pressingly a problem. It's that corner there that I think I lose time at as well. Everyone else just seems to be able to handle it with greater speed than I do. Getting very deep into the corner here. Giving Sean Kenny a run. Oh. Stalled the car too. Might have been
So,
more.
Martin, you have a drive-through being in the pit lane.
Might have been more my fault, but we'll see. That's Tom Waz behind me. That's a lapped car scenario. I don't know. I'd have to look at it, see what the overlap was like. That might have just been me squeezing Sean. It's definitely worth a look, but we'll see. Car feels okay, so I'm not going to pit now. But I am going to pit as soon as I hit like that halfway point, that sweet spot that I usually pit at. Madringa in the pit lane, Keir O'Neill, a couple other guys. Stop Mill leading in the pits. Tom Wash shooting off in the background. Yeah, looks like the car is okay, so no need to rush to the pit stop. Not in any traffic that I need to worry about. So, at least go to the 30-minute mark and make my evaluation from there. I do feel the car coming a little bit out there. Obviously not really looking to fight Mike Stockmill. We'll let him through. It's going to ruin the lap time though. But that is demonstrably not my fight. He is pitted already and was coming up behind me on fresh tires. There was no way to hold him off. And, I mean, the only time I could see really fighting that is if I have, like, a teammate in the championship fight with Stopmill, I guess. Or even just for the race win. But that is not the case. I think my teammate is behind me as opposed to ahead of me. Plus, I get to follow Mike Stopmill for a bit and see, maybe get a feel for like some pace issues. Even though this is a track that I think it's weird in the sense that I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing wrong. It's just identifying the problem and then fixing it are two different things. Like there are two corners in particular that it feels like a sizable number of cars are taking a big chunk out of me in. Admittedly, the problem is I don't really have a Mercedes to look at for comparison purposes, because I find that the only real fast Mercedes around is Max Simmons, and Max is kind of a guy who drives very, very different to me. I don't say that as a bad thing, because that would imply that I believe that I am a good driver, and I don't. But just like as a note, it doesn't seem like there's a tremendous amount of similarity in driving philosophy and style for me to necessarily learn off of them. So 47.7, not a terrible lap, but not a good one either. So probably go with the normal pit stop, which will be at the end of this lap. And I've used up 52 liters so far. Probably be about 55 at the end of this, which means I will need about 50 more liters to finish the race. And a slight tire pressure change. And some damage repaired. Actually, it was 53 liters used. So we'll call it 56 liters to go. That'll give me the +1 lap that I always like to have as a emergency cushion. I'm actually going to go around one more lap. This lap has been pretty good. And Raymond Rue, who I think is one of the people I'm battling with, just pitted. So pitting behind him is not going to help me. If I could stay out, put up a good lap. Although, of course, I screw that up. But if I can stay out one more lap, turn a good lap, that might help me out. Because the tires definitely still have something in them. Like, I can see that I'm going green at various points with the speed. Or with the delta, I should say. But I do also feel like moments like that where going hard on the throttle easily upsets the car. So, they're not the most reliable things on the planet. And I'm probably going to go with not repairing the car. Because it's not been bad. Like, I haven't made a mistake because of the damage. My only moment was the contact with Sean Kenny. Which, at least for now, I'm kind of taking as his fault. But could be 50-50
I'll let you buy when you
my
get
fault.
there, Murray.
All right.
Okay, so in the pits we go.
Tell me to move.
Right hairpin. Sorry, Andrew. I didn't realize you were going to stay to that side.
I did it. I was trying to let you by.
Crap. This is the one problem I hate, is when you're pitting at the same time as the guy who's sharing the pit stop with you. It's so harder to get a visual marker. Okay, controls are locked. Take a sip of my water. I am overfueling, I know that. Probably 3 liters or so. Car back on. And we're good. Okay. So Swan and De Palma come out ahead of me, along with Wallace. So kind of in the same spot, a little bit further back, I think. Could be some people still yet to pit. I see Xavier Eugeni is still running without a pit stop. Not that he would be part of this battle, he was ahead of this, but that might explain the difference. Where is Raymond Rue, is my question. Drive-through penalty for Travis Wallace. So that'll potentially take him out of this fight. Although he may come motoring right back. Never know. This race has been defined by Guido de Palma. Question is, where is Raymond Rue? Hopefully he's behind me. Murray Iwanchuk is, which is a bit weird. I am out ahead of Simeon Naku. So, won that battle. Presumably I'm ahead of Madringa, because he had a penalty. So that just really leaves the question of Raymond Rue as far as the people I was really kind of looking at facing off with. Travis Wallace into the pit lane. A couple of... Oh, someone else has got a penalty up there. Excuse me, Mr. Keir O'Neill. Who's at least having a nice fight with Mauricio Delgado today. Good to see. Ooh. Contact between De Palma and Delgado. It was under blue flags, which is always going to make that a little contentious. Also, Delgado's sitting on a penalty. That might have been who I saw with the penalty. Somebody up there has not pitted yet. And if I'm not mistaken, it appears like it's Max Simmons. So Rue came out like 10 seconds ahead of me. So my plan to overcut him did not work. I want to say that I'm closer to him than I would have been otherwise. I don't honestly know what the gap was before the pit stop.
You okay, John?
Damage.
And once again, I'm on the Simeon Naku hunting me down. Watch. No one else behind really is of concern. That's a terrible lap, but mostly because I had to dump around Mauricio. I kind of hope that De Palma either reports Mauricio or Mauricio reports De Palma, because I do. Anytime we have problems under blue flags, you know I'm gonna want to look. Like just in general, because I really want to get this blue flag pandemic in ESR under control. And I hate to sound like a Republican, but it's both sides of the equation that I think at times are the problem. Really not great day for Justin Swan to be just ahead of me.
Tom, hit window.
1 more minute.
I was gonna say Simmons better be in the pits. It'd be a little embarrassing if he ruined what appears to be a pretty good looking race for him. Simeon goes hard. I have to go a little bit wide. That's twice now Simeon's overtaken me very aggressively. That one I can't complain about. That was contact free. Very nicely done. But the first one I thought was a little rude. May not on replay. That's always the thing, is what you think. What you think about a move live versus what you think about it on review is often quite different. So, while I am going to review my contact with Sean Kenny, see if it's a penalty, if it's worth reporting, or, well, I guess reviewing, because to be honest, as I am the steward, if I look at something, it is reviewing it. It's just whether I want to make it official or not. And then Simeon's first overtake on me, which I thought was a little rude, but at the same time, probably was in the aggressive category. I'm also seeing rude. I've also noticed that watching these, I've been saying rude a lot. Been hanging around Rochelle too much.
Sorry, Wesley, I should have said something.
That's the thing about her. She likes to use words like rude and lewd for no apparent reason. She likes the sound, and it rubs off on me every time. We've been playing some rugby league on Steam, as well as our usual racing and BattleTech stuff. So that last lap was a 47.4. Definitely need to go faster. If I don't crack out at least one like 46.9, 46.8, I'm not going to be very happy. The problem actually losing that spot to Deku is now I can't see the gap to Raymond Rue, who is the other car of interest in this whole thing. This battle between me, Deku, and De Palma that might include Raymond Rue. He was about 10 seconds up the road. Be nice if he was less than that now. But the highest I can see up there is Simeon, or to Justin Swan. So, until we visually get closer to him, or I overtake either Naku or De Palma, or, well, anybody really. Outside of the blue flag stuff. Stop-go penalty for Tom was probably speeding the pits. There we are, 46.7. I can now be slightly happy with this race now. A little bit unhappy with the result, though. And I'm a little bit unhappy with how much Simeon has just raced up to me twice and overtaken me, because we did the same qualifying time, so he started, just ahead of me. And to be kind of just run over like that is doesn't feel good, because as much as I don't really pride myself on any element of my driving, to be honest. I usually do, and this is both a good thing and a bad thing, find myself more able to do a race than to time trial or qualify. So, to be equal to someone in qualifying and then get kind of just had my ass handed to me in the race is a bit of a problem. But considering I got spun out, and I'm kind of back with the same people, it's been an okay race. We've lost 3 more cars, so we're up to 5 gone. was faster than Simeon and Guido that lap, but they were also squabbling. And now we have the blue flags of Mauricio Delgado. Last time I came up to Delgado, it was almost the same circumstance as this, and De Palma and him had contact. So, one, hoping I don't see that again. Two, also like a little bit interested to see, just from my own experience, what I think of Delgado's blue flag habits. He's a driver that there has been some contacts with under blues, and it's not a good habit to be in. He has kept De Palma behind him for quite a while there. Now, admittedly, I'm not seeing De Palma go for a move, so he's not defending or anything. But, he is stretching the credulity of blue flags a little bit. Like, it's not a hard 3-flag rule, but should be looking to, should be looking a little bit like De Palma did a 151 there. And hadn't been paying, super close attention to his lap times. But I imagine he should be doing 147 similar to myself. 148. 148 on the low end. I mean, Delgado is keeping with him even after he got past, though. So that's kind of the problem, I guess. Is it looks like we know Delgado had a penalty, so, and I think he may have had an incident or two. So this is a case where, 35th place car, probably not 35th paced car. That I am not happy with, though. Did he hit me again? Come on! Dude. Let the leaders through. So yeah, that just pissed away a chance to catch De Palma and company. Thank you, Mauricio Delgado. I know you just lost control of the car, and I'm probably being unrationally angry. But, and it might cost me a spot, because Travis is now coming up. Great. It's a super unsafe rejoin, though, I think. Like, the thing is he went wide because he just outbraked himself and lost control. That's fine. There's no problem with that. There is a significant difference, though, between that and rejoining in a manner that is never going to go well. And that's kind of what I saw there. Now, that's live. Again, replay may tell a completely different story. But if you're under blue flags with a car close to you and you go off, just stay off. And again, this is kind of my thing, is it's one thing if you're in a life or death struggle with somebody. He's just not. Like, there's no one near him that he's racing. He's just bringing it on home, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it is a problem if you ruin someone else's race. And I'm not going to say he's ruined mine, because I'm in the same spot, but he has definitively changed the complexion of my race from something positive to something that is now at its high point, I guess. Like, 20th place was a improvable result before that contact for me. There was Guido not far away. I still hadn't given up on the idea of catching Simeon or Raymond, maybe. But now it's like I'm way behind those guys, and I've got Travis coming up to breathe down my neck because, I mean, come on, if you've been watching this stream for a while, or this channel for a while, you know, Travis versus me, that's not a fair contest of wills. He's back here because he had a drive-through penalty. And I'm going really slowly too now. Like plus 1 second. The car is fucked. For sure. Not even going to defend against Travis. I'm not going to, you know, move aside, let him through, but like there will be no defensive moves. If he gets an overlap, I'm just giving him the position. Because, yeah, 2 seconds off. Significantly damaged car. I imagine the pit stop is horrifying. Yeah, 20 seconds worth of damage. Mauricio's apologizing, which it does make me feel better. Like, you know, even before he apologized, I didn't think Mauricio tried to wreck me or anything. It just happened. Doesn't mean that there won't be a stewarding action taken, because, you know, intent has never been a requirement for a penalty. Opens you up to a whole different style of penalty, but that's about it. I wonder if that's Jeff's first podium that he's running there. But here's the thing. There's not going to be a voice outburst or a chat outburst. And you can say, well, that's because you get to do it here. Yeah, but everyone has the ability to do it here. Everyone can vent during the race. That's not a problem. And to be clear, seeing that and then also knowing that De Palma and Delgado had contact under blue flags, it you know, it does concern me as the clerk of the course / steward that you know, we have a driver that might need a word. That's about it. Tom Waz in the pits again. Somebody rejoined who left before. That's interesting. I am surprised, to an amusing level actually, that Travis has not just licked the envelope and sent one yet. Higgs in 4th place. What is this world coming to? Blue flag being shown to Travis and shortly myself. In fact, there it is. Jeff through. Since I'm not fighting back against Travis, not with the car in the shape it's in. A little surprised that Jeff hasn't gotten past Travis. Again, kind of in the sense that he hasn't gone for a move, so Travis hasn't violated a rule, but it's kind of like we saw with Delgado earlier. That's a lot of showings of the blue flag. You can see them waving. And they're not for me. Not yet, anyways. Higgs is coming, though. Wonder if Travis is also damaged. Streppin and Higgs fighting. They went a little deep into that corner, otherwise I was thinking about letting them pass here. Leave the inside open for them. Just get out of their way. I'm not racing for anything. They are. Wow, that's a cut track, boys. Alright, so Connor Levy is quite a ways behind me. So even with the fact that I am like probably 1.5 seconds slower a lap just on a good lap, I don't think he'll catch me. Yeah, we got like, what, 2-3 laps to go? Yeah, I'm good. Just need to not fuck up. And the car admittedly doesn't feel terrible from like a bucking Bronco type style perspective. Like it feels safe enough to drive. It's honestly being a little bit overkind by Francisco Toledo there. Oh, I'm pretty sure Tom was getting there. It's just I have a damaged car. Well, sorry for everyone. It looked like we were headed to a really solid possible climax of the race. A battle with maybe Guido, maybe Ray, maybe Simeon. Probably not Ray or Simeon, but you know, something with Guido. And contact with blue flag black marker. Well, he is sorry about it. Has given us a kind of boring final. Like, I don't know. We got a couple of laps of Travis tracking me down, I guess. That was cool. Also, a little bit more overfield than I thought. I thought I'd have, like, one extra lap. Looks like I'm going to have probably, like, 3. Well, 2 if you count the cooldown lap, which I usually do, because you know, you want to be able to do the cooldown lap, have the full race experience. kind of interested to see what the car looks like damage-wise. So I'll probably pop my head into swing cam at the end of this lap.
Sorry, bud. Couldn't dodge you.
Leader is finished. Is it Stop Mill or is it Maxi Lentini who took this round and the advantage in the championship home? I would have thought Lentini. Stop Mill's driving the BMW, which is not great around this track. But he was winning when we last saw him. Safety ratings down to 83. Let's have a look. Yep. Front end is all chewed up. The bonnet is open. Yep. Bring it on home. Yellow flag somewhere, or is that just a yellow flag they're waving in celebration? Or you know, that probably is just, you know, marshals on course. Well, this is Hungaroring. You know, finished higher than I qualified. That's always the goal. Can't say that I finished much lower than I. Well, you know what? No, you know what? Take away the Sean Kenny contact and the Delgado contact, I'm probably higher than this, so definitely didn't maximize the result. The Kenny contact, we'll see. The Delgado contact, to me, is all on him. Disappointing moments was basically the fact that Simeon Naku twice just kind of rolled up to me and just did a drive-by and said, "Taking the spot, thank you." And, you know, that's a little bit disappointing. The pit lane we go. Slow down to 50k. Who is that ahead of me that actually did the full thing? That is, by the looks of it, Christoph. Rolling down the pit lane. Gonna have ourselves a time. Won't actually stop for the pit stop because they'll actually do it, which is weird. But I will say hi to Jeff and Vic. Hey guys, how you doing? And then do the return to garage. So Maxi Lentini, Stop Mill appears to have left. So a couple people left, unfortunately. Time penalty for Keir O'Neill. I hope that's not for a pit stop related problem. That would be a bit of a problem. But we'll see. Simeon actually did get up past Swan and Rue though. So that's a bit of a problem for us in the teams championship. Yes, everybody's done. And next up will be the Paul Ricard race, as well as the multi-class. I'm not sure where that is, and probably some super mega baseball this week. So get ready for that fun.